Got to run the football. I don't care how well it works. I don't care how bad it doesn't work. You have got to be consistent attempting to run the football. We saw what happened in that game October 19th when Steve Sarkisian just abandoned the run. He just took the run out to the country, wrapped in a trash bag, and threw it in a ditch and left it to die. And some of y'all are going to say, because I know some of y'all said it, some of y'all say it every week. We just couldn't run. And we were just playing catch up. And we had to abandon the run to even try to catch up. Listen to this, folks. We ran the ball 5 times for 18 yards. That's 3.6 yards per carry in the 3 drives before Georgia scored a single point in this game. We had 0 rushing attempts in the next drive. So it's 7-0 at this point. Are we so far behind that we can't run the football? Is the game over in the first quarter when you're down 7-0? No, it's not. We had 1 rushing attempt in the next drive for 5 yards. We had 1 rushing attempt in the next drive for -1 yards. We had 1 rushing attempt in the next drive for 5 yards. We had 0 rushing attempts in the next drive. We had 8 drives in the first half of that game. 8 rushing attempts. That is criminal. I mean, 23-0 isn't even stop running the ball. But the thing is, it never gets to 23-0 if you just run the ball. On all 8 of those carries, they averaged 3.38 yards per carry with running backs. And I'm talking just running backs. And some of y'all will go look at the stat sheet and you go, "Oh, but Quinn carried it or Arch carried." I don't care about scrambling your ass off because you're getting chased. I'm talking about actual rushing attempts. 3.38 yards per attempt. You do that 3 times and you get a first down. And I know it's not that simple, but y'all get the point I'm trying to make. It's not like we were getting half a yard a carry. It's not like they were just completely shutting down the running game. It wasn't very exciting. But you know what's way more not exciting is watching your offensive line get its dick knocked in the dirt and watching your quarterback throw interceptions, get sacked, get the ball stripped out of his hands because you have decided I'm not going to run the football. And Kirby Smart has decided, okay, if you're not going to run the football, I'm just going to light your ass Protect the football. Texas had 4 turnovers in the October matchup. And they've been bad in the SEC. They've only had 3 games where they didn't have at least 2 turnovers in the SEC. They've turned the ball over in every SEC game this season except for the Arkansas game. And it's not just the turnovers. Like the turnovers that Georgia had, 2 of the 3 didn't hurt them because we pissed down our leg. One of them was around midfield, the other one deep in our defensive territory. The third one we ran back to like the 5-yard line. We got some points off that one. Texas turned the ball over and turned the field position into an absolute nightmare. And that was the critical part of this game, where those turnovers happened. The average starting field position from the last Georgia drive in the first quarter into halftime was the Texas 38. The average starting field position of Georgia's scoring drives during that same time, the Texas 37. They were in field goal range on average the entire second quarter. Georgia only had to cover 89 yards to score 23 points. Think about that. 2 weeks ago against Kentucky, Texas goes on a 15-yard, 80 or 15 play, 80-something yard drive where they run the ball every single time, score a touchdown. Georgia just went 4 yards further than that and scored 23 points. They got to win the turnover battle in this game. I don't think if you're Texas and your game plan is we hope Carson Beck turns it over 3 more times, I don't think you bank on that. And I know they're not. I'm just saying, like, the offense has got to protect the ball. I mean, if they could go this game and not turn the ball over, that would be, I mean, almost to me, like if that's worth celebrating, as bad as they've been. Like, I'd still be disappointed if they lost the game, but I'd be like, man, at least we didn't turn it over this game. Texas has got to be tougher up front. The Texas O-line, they've been able to create space in the run game. They've been able to protect Quinn Ewers when they pass most of this year. They got to be able to do it on Saturday. I felt like the O-line looked completely unprepared. And in some cases, they just got physically overmatched on October 19th. As I bitched about for the last 10 minutes, I don't think Sark did them a lot of favors in the play calling, in the philosophy, in the game plan. I don't think Quinn Ewers did them a lot of favors by not being able to navigate the pressure and navigate the pocket at even like a mediocre level. He looked like a dude in that game, and I'm not trying to bag on Quinn. I think he was hurt. I honestly think he just couldn't move. Because he just looked like a dude that's never played football and has no, it's like deer in the headlights. Like he had no idea what was coming at him. When there was a lot of opportunities to step up and avoid some pressure, extend the play a little bit. I do not think, I've said it multiple times, that I think Georgia ambushed the hell out of Texas. A lot like Oklahoma ambushed Alabama in Norman a couple weeks ago with that quarterback run. They did something that Alabama wasn't prepared for. And I don't think Texas was prepared to watch Georgia line up the way they did and bring the house like they did over and over and over. It's not completely not their fault. They lost physical matchups. So they got to be better. That O-line has got to do more of what it did the last 2 weeks on Saturday if Texas wants to win this game. I think the defensive line, they got to get more pressure on Carson Beck. 1 sack, 5 QB hurries in that game against Georgia in October. Georgia had 7 sacks and 8 QB hurries. If you're Texas defensive line, you got to at least keep pace. Let's say Georgia does come in and they're able to pressure Quinn Ewers up. Okay, if you're the defensive line for the Texas Longhorns, you got to keep pace with that. You maybe don't have to be better, but you definitely got to keep pace. And flipping it would be huge. We talked about headed into that Lone Star Showdown last week about it being an attitude game. And the team that wins the most in the trenches is going to win that game. This is the SEC championship game. This is 1,000% a trench warfare attitude. Win the money downs. Texas comes into this matchup ranked 28th in the country in third down conversions on offense. They convert it 44.9% of the time. In October, they converted only 13.3% of their third down attempts. Georgia gives up conversions 33% of the time on defense. If Texas can get anywhere in that 40% range, 35 to 40% range, that would be a win. Flip it around on the defense, Texas ranks 6th in the country, allowing only 30.3% conversions on third down. Georgia's averaging 41.6% on third down offensively. They converted 35.2% on third down in October. So 35% to 13%. Huge deficit, huge difference. I think if you're Texas and you stay in that range defensively, that's a win. I think you're doing fine. Third and longs, absolutely critical to get off the field. Nothing more frustrating than playing well on first and second down, getting somebody in third and long, and they take it from you. Texas cut the lead to 23-15 in the third quarter of that game in October. Had all the momentum. That place was going freaking crazy, and you could see it. You know how you can, I've talked about this. You can see and feel, touch momentum. It was there. Georgia was like on the cusp of it just slipping away. They're backed up on their own end of the field. It's 3rd and 10. Give up a 25 or 21-yard easy pitch and catch for a first down. And then Georgia goes down the field in a couple more plays, and they're in the end zone. Should have got off the field. Turns into touchdown. And the game is, at this point, pretty close to being out of reach. I mean, that was like the last knockout punch for Georgia. Can't do it. You cannot do it. You got to get off the field on third down and long. Third down and short, that can happen. Third down and long, it cannot happen.